Hello and welcome to RTCtv. I'm your host Vanessa Henning. I'm standing here with Lyle Lingenfelter. He is the PGA professional at Round Barn Golf Club. Lyle, how are you doing today?
Very good.
Lyle, I'm wondering if you can tell me how you actually got interested in golf in the first place.
When I was a young person, probably about 5th grade, I had a youth football coach that invited me to go play. I'd never played. He took the time to take me out and suffer through all my bad shots, and I pretty much became hooked at that point. You hit one good shot and you think, I could do that again.
Right.
And so he was gracious enough to take me out a few times, and that's how I got started.
So you were hooked ever since then?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You've never dropped it?
Never dropped it at all. I mean, obviously as I'm older and have a family and children and things, I play much less than I used to. But when I was a teenager, I played every day, all day.
Oh wow. So I know you're not originally from Rochester. How did you end up being the PGA professional here?
Originally from Terre Haute. My wife was in the Air Force, so we ended up in Barksdale, Shreveport, Louisiana area. I was an assistant there. I became the head professional at the Shreveport Country Club, and then we always liked Louisiana, but it was never really home. We wanted to get back to Indiana, and I enjoy the summer days like this, not so much the winters, but when Rochester had an opening, I applied, and that's kind of what got me here.
And how long have you been here?
This is, I believe, my 14th year.
Oh wow, so 14 years. I'm sure some things have changed with the course since then. What are the major changes that you've seen?
You know, the park board is very progressive, so if I have an idea, something I'd like to do, I present that to the park board and they listen to it. And if we have the money within the budget to do it, they're pretty flexible and allow us to do that. Obviously, one of the things that they had planned long before I got here was to move the golf shop from the pool area to the round barn. That's, I'm sure, the biggest improvement, because the pool building was kind of like a big walk-in closet over there. And so if anybody remembers going in there, it was very small and unaccommodating. And now we pretty much have everything we need here at the barn. So that's the biggest change. And then there's been numerous changes on the course. When we moved to the barn, the nines changed a little bit. So we actually have 4 holes from one nine and 5 holes from the other on each nine now. So they're intermingled. And then we filled in a kind of a scummy pond on what's now hole 12, and we've built a new practice green here, and the practice facilities have improved, and so a lot of things over the years.
Very cool, very cool. I know that Round Barn actually offers a couple of different practicing areas and some things that just kind of set it apart from other golf courses around here. Could you tell me about what those are and what makes them so helpful to golfers?
Sure. Obviously, golfers want to improve, they want to get better, and if you don't have good practice areas, it's difficult to do that, because you go out on the course, there's other people, you can't really take a lot of time and hit extra shots. So we're fortunate enough that we do have a driving range, and that range in the last 14 years has been expanded, so we have probably enough space for about 15 people to hit at a time, versus it used to be maybe 10. So the tee's been expanded. We also have better grass coverage there because we have a larger area to spread the tee over. And then we have the 2 practice greens. We have the old one, which is over by the pool area. It's larger with a little more consistent slope across the green. And then we have a practice area here, a practice green here that has a little more smaller contours throughout the green that was necessary when we moved to the barn. And then we also just recently have been the beneficiary of a short game area that the Foundry has provided the funding for, in memory of Ron Myers, who ran the Foundry for a number of years. So we're one of the few courses that actually has an area to go work on short pitches and mid-length shots, you know, from instead of just chipping by a green of, you know, 5 or 10 yards up to about 70 yards, where you can hit wedges into a green and really hone in your short game.
And I'm sure that golfers really like that diversity that you offer, because you don't just have to practice putting here. Right.
And most people by default practice putting before they go out. They putt a few, they kind of warm up, they do that. But really, the most important shots for scoring are chips and pitches and putts, and then really pitching is kind of like a micro swing. So that's a great area to work on your technique without pulling the driver out of the bag and wailing away at it and getting off balance and making some awkward swings. You can kind of work the area through impact in your short game at the pitching area. So I think that's really a nice improvement. And people can bring their own balls and use the pitching area and either practice green for free. Obviously the driving range they would rent balls in the golf shop and take them over to the range and hit them. But most of the practice areas are free to use, so you can get as good as you'd like with as much time as you like
and then you can
no
go
cost.
out and play 9 holes or 18 holes if you'd like afterwards.
Right, 9 or 18, and we have great rates throughout the week, specials on certain mornings, twilight rates in the evening, and for example, our twilight rates start at 6 o'clock. So this time of year, it's light until almost 10.
Right.
You can easily get out at 6 and still get in 18 holes, so it's very easy to do.
What would you say is your favorite part about this golf course? What do you think sets it apart?
I think the thing that sets it apart from a lot of courses is just the value. It's in very good condition, has a very nice layout, it's very reasonably affordable. And so there's a lot of things that make it nice. For me, the very first time I was here, and Pat Cox, who was the previous golf professional, when he drove me around, I just looked at it and I thought, wow, this is really nice. It's got a great creek, it's got great ponds, which of course date back to the fish hatcheries and the history of the course there. It's got some little gentle dog legs, it's got some nice fairway bunkers, and some greens are very contoured and others are relatively flat. And so the variety, it's just a great variety of holes. And if you play here, you have the opportunity to be challenged from 5 sets of tees really now, with lots of variety on the golf course, so you can improve your game, and at the same time it's playable for large groups of people who maybe aren't ready for the challenge of some of those other things.
Right. Do you have a favorite memory of being on this golf course?
You know, I don't know if I have a particular favorite memory, but having grown up on a golf course and just spent most of my teenage years there. I love coming out in the mornings and you smell the fresh cut grass, and now, you know, there's a cup of coffee there with me. And getting to see my kids grow up here and play and practice, and the high school golf teams, middle school golf teams. So you see people, you know, that you think just the other day they were this tall, and then a few years later they're stopping by asking you if you want to invest money with them because they've got a finance degree. And so you think this can't be. But so it's been neat seeing everyone grow up and just see what the golf course means to other people. Well,
thank you so much for your time, Lyle. It's been great talking to you. And
Thank you very much.
And I hope you just continue, you know, running this place and having a great time here.
I enjoy it. Thank you.
All right. This has been a Business Spotlight with RTCtv. Thank you for watching.